welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Josh Widdicombe and Miles Jupp, Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Josh, which category would you like?
Can I go with sport?
OK, your category is sport. The answer is 74 years. What's the question?
What is the official age at which you can be racist and get away with it?
How much back tax does Jimmy Carr owe?
Is it when will it stop raining?
Is it the traditional amount of time between a person's first meal at a harvester?
Is it how long would it take Victoria Beckham to eat a Cornish pasty?
Is it, how long a minute feels in the company of Louis Spence?
What would it sound like if Prince Charles was agreeing with the answer 74?
74 years. In fact, how long will Katie Holmes have to look over her shoulder?
Is it, how long after eating mackerel is it safe to burp again?
What is the average age of the person buying Beyoncé's new track, All the Shingle Ladies?
Is it if you come out of a toilet at a music festival, how long do you suggest to the person who's going in that they should leave it?
What is the distance of my exclusion order from Doctor Who's assistant?
Is it when did the last British man enter a final at Wimbledon?
Yes.
In the singles.
In the singles. Very good. Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. Yes, the question I was looking for was, before Andy Murray, how long had it been since a British man reached a Wimbledon singles final? This is news that Andy Murray was the first to achieve this feat since Bunny Austin was runner-up in 1938. Now, obviously, when we're about to discuss this, I would ask you to temper your comments, your jokes and your observations with the fact that Andy Murray, the runner-up in the British men's singles final, is actually out there in the audience at the moment. Big hello to Andy Murray, who's happy out there. Thank you very much, Andy. Specifically said, yeah, no fuss, no fuss. Just want to drop in at the back of the show, just enjoy the gig, you know, just like anyone else would. There's not a big thing happening about the whole thing. So if you could just, all I'm saying is, it's a pleasure to have you here, Andy. Enjoy the show. We obviously, when you're talking about the final, keep it light, keep it light. Okay. Just don't want to, you know.
Why don't we talk about Bunny Austin?
My grandfather used to drive a Bunny Austin.
Were you watching it? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
It was very, very emotional. I was crying, and I didn't really know why I was crying, just everybody with me was crying. It was like we've been watching Terms of Endearment. The top 3 tearjerkers of all time, Terms of Endearment, Philadelphia, and Andy Murray trying to congratulate Roger Federer without calling him a bastard.
It was very emotional, but what I loved most of all was Ivan Lendl, he's a man who's, you know, he wears his heart on his sleeve, doesn't he? He was a full gamut of emotion. He goes, here's Ivan. Ivan is sad. Ivan is happy. Ivan is excited.
I also like the fact that even, it doesn't, like, round face, nothing changed. Because there is a tendency to presume that, like, the more natural one would be, like, Gok Wan or something. Just standing up going, you go! You were looking great down there.
What do you think? I'm not having a go, Andy, but I shouldn't start like that.
Wow, you feel the mood in the room change there.
But Ivan Lendl, I understand, is famous for being the best player never to have won Wimbledon. So, as an appointment to try and win Wimbledon, that's like going, I'm trying to catch a roadrunner, I'm going to ask Wile E. Coyote for some suggestions.
Ivan Lendl was never foiled by, like, an anvil falling on him.
And if he had been hit on the head by an anvil, he would have looked like this.
If I won Wimbledon, the first thing I'd do is sort the one-way system out.
But I think it's all right to be like that. This is something that Andy Murray comes in. A huge criticism about Andy Murray is he's sullen and uncommunicative in post-match interviews. You'd be sullen and uncommunicative if after work every day you had to pass somebody with a camera and a microphone going, amazing bit of photocopying in the middle of the day there. What was going through your mind there? They're lucky, those reporters, that they don't finish the reports. This is Tim Frank from Wimbledon A&E with a tennis racket up my arse.
My favourite people that I saw in the crowd were the 4 Andy Murray supporters who had M, U, R and Y on their shirts. There's 4 of them. Why on earth did they go for the surname and not the first name?
Do you not think that the problem really is the fact that, you know, British players aren't used to those facilities? If those courts were turned into cracked black tarmac with weeds growing out of them, honestly, we would win a lot more tournaments. If that didn't work, you just make sure that every 4th ball is flat. That's all. That's what people do.
The rallies would last longer if the net's all dipped by about 6 inches.
A middle-class couple at the side going, I think you'll find we're on in 5 minutes.
Just give them 5 balls, and wherever they hit them, they've got to go and get them themselves.
Every so often the ball boys picked up the wrong tube and you get Pringles.
The bit I like in the tennis is when they throw the ball into the crowd, and at the end of the football they throw their shirt into the crowd. Anyway, I'm off the pub darts team.
Andy was unlucky, though, was it? They closed the roof. And it wasn't actually raining, it's just that Sir Cliff Richard was in and they didn't want to take any chances.
Which unlikely British player did win a title at Wimbledon this year?
Tim Henman.
No.
Bunny Austin.
No.
Vanessa Feltz.
This was a guy, wasn't it, called Murray.
Yes.
Which is kind of interesting because it's only 1 letter away from Murray, and that, you know, and that got me worried that maybe it's a vowel thing, and Andy's in a queue, and he's not going to win until Mr. Merry, Mirry, and Morrie have all had their.
Jonathan Murray, one of those 2 men there, is...
I think.
On the right.
the one applauding with the in a suit. Won the doubles with his Danish partner Fredrik Nielsen.
So, do you win 2 trophies and a midget butler?
In other news, why was a Preston to London megabus stopped by the police on the motorway this week?
Just the usual reasons.
Yeah.
This was the story where a passenger reported seeing some smoke coming out of some other passenger's bag, thought it was a bomb, turned out it was a fake cigarette that was producing water vapour. Now, let's face it, if you've been pulled over, loads of police have arrived, you've got guns in your face, you're being accused of being a terrorist. That's not going to help you give up smoking, is it?
They shut the M6, 17 police cars and riot vans, 13 fire engines, 4 ambulances and an army bomb disposal truck attended the incident. They walked the people off with their heads in their hands. It was like, you know, and made them sit in the middle of the road.
Those people on the megabus, that's not the first bad trip they've been on.
When they were sat on the side of the road, you could see some of them going, this is the most luxurious part of the journey so far.
I'm always really freaked out by megabus. It's not the weirdest thing in the world, the megabus. Nothing against the bus service itself, but when you drive, like you drive a lot of time on the motorway, going to gigs, like the back of the megabus when you're driving along, like for those of you who haven't had the pleasure, there's times you just get hypnotised by that weird. There are many things I've observed. Firstly, why does that man have such large breasts? Hours staring at that man's breasts, going, that is insane. What kind of...
Where can you go for £1?
I thought you'd have to contact megabus. There's an address
I
there.
have to put plus a 50p booking fee as if people are going to go, well, that's a rip-off.
I walked in here with this in my hand, expecting to be transported to a faraway land. Then I find you want more money off you? Screw you, megabus man. And a big yellow man with enormous bazongas looks disappointed behind the counter. That is going to do it. I apologise to the room. I know that when you're disappointed, you don't go, I am disappointed.
Like, Megabus represents the top of the list of the decadence of the West, is it?
Yeah. We will bring the West to its knees. Middle-aged women from the North will no longer be able to go to matinees at the West End. Students shall not visit their girlfriends in faraway towns.
Do you think when they were dragged off the bus and they were all sort of sat around it, they were still close enough to the bus to be able to use the free Wi-Fi?
They get emailed photographs of their own terror alert. Do you know what's really irritating about this? For the entire... In my ear, constantly, people are going, wear the hat, wear the hat, wear the hat, wear the hat. Because, yeah, they give me a yellow hat because they think I look like the Megabus guy.
That means that man looks like a penis sausage.
They should call it penissausage.com. Oh, something else is already called.
You're just bringing this up to try and make everybody forget that you look like a penis sausage. That's exactly what's going on here. You just look like a penis sausage in a yellow hat.
Oh, no! I have lost ownership of the joke now.
Somebody's got another new Twitter avatar.
OK, Grant, at the end of that round, although I should get the points myself for the assault to my dignity. Ladies, at the end of that round, the points go to Chris Hugh and Milton! Now we play a round called 50 Shades of Mock. This game involves Milton, Andy and Josh, so if you could make your way over to the performance area, please. This round is our stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. So the first subject is money. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
So, Wonga.com, current interest rate, 4,214%. They've got some balls, haven't they? And people take them up on it. I don't know what happens. I don't know if they go, oh, look, 4,214%. That seems about right. And why is Wonga.com successful? It's because the banks aren't lending. Why are they not lending? That is what banks are supposed to do. Oh, I'm a prostitute. Do you shag? No. I just sell pet insurance and breakdown cover. At the moment, the whole world economy is being propped up by the Chinese. China at the moment being run by two men, the Chinese premier, a man by the name of Wen, and the Chinese president, a man by the name of Hu. I kid you not, China is currently being run by Wen and Hu. It is like an Abbott and Costello sketch, isn't it? Who's the Chinese premier? No. Wen's the Chinese premier? Who's the Chinese president? I don't know. No. Who's the Chinese president? Since when? No. Wen has never been the Chinese president.
There goes Andy Parsons. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The next subject is technology. Who's coming out? Josh.
I'll take that. People say technology is moving forwards, but I'm not sure about this. I'm increasingly finding myself at these cash points where they can't even be bothered to make the buttons line up with the screen. There is no stress in the world like that. So they're going, please, God, let this be 20 quid. If this is 40 quid, I might as well just kill myself. Worse, if it's one of the cash points where you go up and the screen is angled so the sun is on it. You go for 20 quid, you leave with a new PIN number and a chequebook in the post. I want to cancel, I don't want to clear, I don't know what's the difference? You get your card back, trying to put it back in, people going, piss off, mate, it's not winner stays on. I'm already stressed as well when I'm at a cash point, because I've already had to stand there for 10 seconds, unable to put my card in, because it's still thanking the guy that's already pissed off. Who Everybody's hanging around for that. Okay, I've got my card, I've got my cash. Hold on, guys. It's been an absolute bloody pleasure doing business with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Josh. Well done. And so that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. The topic is employment.
I used to dream of having a job. Sometimes I'd go down to the bottle bank and stick my arms in through the holes and pretend to be working at a nuclear processing facility. I lost my job as a prison officer for organising a lock-in. I only had one job as an architect, but apparently a revolving mosque makes it difficult to pray towards Mecca. My first day working on a building site, I felt sure someone would ask me to go and get something that didn't actually exist, you know, like striped paint or something. Sure enough, someone asked me to go and get an air ambulance. Well, I played them at their own game. Took my time and said, "Oh no, I just couldn't seem to find one." You should have seen his face. It was blue. Years ago, of course, I used to supply filofaxes for the mafia. Yeah, I was involved in very organised crime.
Thank you very much. Well done. Points to Milton there. Everyone come back.
So tell you how Ivan Lendl reacted to that joke.
Now we play a game called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, teams, what is going on here?
Is it Dyson unveils most powerful vacuum cleaner yet?
Is it the centrefold of Engineering Porn Monthly?
Is it preparation continues for Eric Pickle's colonic irrigation?
Is it best contestant ever on Scrap Heap Challenge?
Is it that man saying, well, if this thing falls on me, at least I've got a hat on?
That is regrettably the only printer that my computer will recognise.
Goal line technology bigger than expected?
OK, can you give the correct answer?
Is it the fitting of Eamon Holmes' gastric band?
Is it something to do with science?
Is it the CERN Higgs boson thing?
Yes. Yes, I'm going to accept that. It is the CERN Higgs boson. Yes, it is the CERN Higgs boson thing, also known as the Large Hadron Collider. This is the news that physicists at CERN in Switzerland have declared that there is overwhelming evidence that they have discovered a new particle that bears all the hallmarks of the Higgs boson. The find is considered one of the most important scientific advances in a century. Now, before I go to you and get you to comment on this, I'd just like to bear in mind that in the audience tonight we have Professor Higgs, who has come all the way from where there she is. Just very, very good. Congratulations. Incredibly, unbelievably shy woman. For many years, she has, in public, only wanted to appear as an old man. Stop pointing the camera at that poor, randomly chosen woman. So there we go. There he is! There he is. That's her as we more normally know.
Oh, look at it. You've got some glasses down there. You could have a crack at that one.
I am not doing every face that we do in the show.
He was known as Professor Penis Sausage by his career.
My penis sausage is this big. Yes, they found the Higgs boson. Professor Higgs projected. I'm not. I'm certainly not going to do this, right? I cannot look like everything that we discover in the show.
He looks like...
Jonathan King. That is Jonathan King.
Isn't he an astonishing bloke, Professor? Did he also not teach Eliza Doolittle to speak properly in my head?
He's been very busy. The funniest thing about him, of course, is that he lectures in Edinburgh University, and up until recently he's been the Scottish physicist, Professor Higgs. But now that it's been founded and he's successful, he's suddenly the British physicist, Professor Higgs. That's one for Andy Murray.
It was lovely, though. It was absolutely lovely, because he didn't expect it to happen in his lifetime.
No.
He travelled. He's 83. He proposed this idea over 40 years ago. He travelled to Switzerland to see the announcement. And it's just nice to have a happy story about an 83-year-old travelling to Switzerland.
If you complete that word at the back of his head, it just says Jedi.
And Johnny did when he found out?
He, I've no idea.
He cried, of course, he cried. Everyone cries now, it's all tears now. Boo-hoo. Things have gone well, things have gone badly, wow. Jesus, that's why there's no more hosepipe band. Boo-hoo-hoo.
Did he not think, I'm going to splash out on a megabus back to Edinburgh?
I was going to say, I think it's a real shame, this business. They've spent all this... This is a lot of time and money they've spent, and that is time and money that they could have spent, for instance, working out how to make slightly less noisy hand dryers, which I find incredibly annoying. Thank you, Dave. Well, let's start this revolution now.
I don't think I might love more in the show when we really catch the public mood.
I can't believe he got a standing ovation for getting to the final of Wimbledon. I came up with my brilliant thing about hand dryers. No one does a fucking thing.
Why is this going to be bad news for Stephen Hawking?
This is because he's lost a bet, a $100 bet. He said that they'd never find the Higgs boson particle. But you have to say, the person who's had a bet with, you'd have to be a bit of a bastard to take the money off him, wouldn't you?
You wouldn't bet Stephen Hawking $100. Well, surely, if you're going to bet him anything, you bet him a go on his chair.
We may have gone over the line, we'll just check Hawkeye.
Stephen Hawkeye would be a great thing.
Out.
It was out. It has been out for billions of years.
The strange thing about Stephen Hawking is that he's a British person who we sort of know as having an American accent, which must be an astonishing thing for his brain, because he must have a memory of his own voice, and yet this thing comes out, which makes me feel terribly sorry for him, but at least it's not a Brummie accent, because then nobody would have believed him, would it? Oh, I've got a theory. Have you, Stephen? Have you? It's a good theory about time, is it? Off you go, then.
At the end of the round, the points go to Miles, Josh and Andy. Right, now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you won't hear at the Olympics.
Very impressive. Usain Bolt has done a lap of honour and won the 400 metres as well.
So Daly going for 3.5 somersaults with Pike. And you have to say, the Pike doesn't look too happy about it.
Good morning. No surprises here at the final of the archery.
Victoria Pendleton cycling incredibly fast at the moment, desperate to try and get away from a horny Boris Johnson.
She was hoping for bronze, but sadly for Sue Barker, she is bright orange.
I would like to apologise for my earlier mistake. We are, in fact, watching the javelin and not, as I said, dwarf darts.
And all of the sailing golds have gone to the Somali team in exchange for the safe return of Sir Steve Redgrave.
the 5th girl to jump off the top board and miss the huge pool below. Women divers.
This gymnast has a maximum degree of difficulty. His name is Churchick Kiddock Caddup Flidley Flifliflopla.
That is the 10-minute free view of the beach volleyball. If you'd like to watch the full match, please enter your pin now.
And the crowd are on their feet. So much for getting the stadium finished on time.
Well, that really was a spectacular day of weightlifting, but before we go, we've got time to just look over some of the most spectacular anal prolapses we've seen today.
Lane 1, a family eating popcorn. Lane 2, 2 guys on a stag night. Lane 3, I'm in the wrong place, this is bowling.
And now in the weightlifting, it's the snatch. She's a big girl, but it's still compulsory.
Well, here at Weymouth, our gold medal prospect is out. In the last race, he touched a boy and he's been arrested by social services.
OK, next topic. Unlikely things to read in a children's book.
And so the tiger came to tea and then shagged another woman and went back to playing golf.
As soon as Professor Snape saw Hermione, he knew in a few years she would be really hot.
What's a Gruffalo? Said the Gruffalo. It's a buffalo on 40 a day.
These bacon sandwiches are delicious, said Pooh. Aren't they, Piglet? Piglet?
And so, the 101 Dalmatians fell asleep. Hang on, those aren't Dalmatians. Those are just ordinary white puppies riddled with bullets.
Hello, my name is the Very Hungry Caterpillar. I have an eating disorder.
Unfortunately, Bob the Builder couldn't fix it because Bobski the Polish builder had undercut him and done a far better job.
This place is rubbish, said Edmund. Doesn't anybody have sex here? Oh, yes, said Aslan. What do you think the Griffins are for?
But despite his protests, Mr. Tickle was put on the register.
After years of depression and alcoholism, the little girl emigrated. And that is the end of Alice in Sunderland.
This is Pooh Corner, explained one of the other captives.
Have you heard about Badger? Said Ratty. He's been gassed to stop the spread of bovine TB.
As the train came slowly past, the railway children chucked stones at it and spray-painted Thomas is a wanker.
Tales of the unexpected. Once upon a...
And then, as he did every night, fantastic Mr. Fox knocked over a bin and shat on a doorstep.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Chris, Hugh and Nathan! And that's the end of the show. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Josh Widdicombe, Miles Jupp, Chris Addison, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. This week's winner is Andy Murray, ladies and gentlemen. Pleasure to have you here. Thanks for watching. I'm Darragh Breen. Good night.
Mock the Week's back with a special Don't Miss It Thursday night at 10. Coming next on BBC Two, gritty drama in The Line of Duty.